now, stand by Durban, East London, Maritzburg, the Wild Coast, and all of Capital Country for the most music power.
The sexy rock radio station you've always wanted is here.
With your host, Michael de Jager.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Michael de Jager on the microphone today. I wonder if you're keeping well, or what it is that you're actually doing today on this wonderful Sunday. Sorry, surprising you with a pop-up session on Guitarist TV and streaming on YouTube. So a very warm welcome to you. If you're just watching this video, we're parking off in our fancy little studio here. And we're about to do something really unusual, which is, do some kind of live stream thing, which I'm not sure is actually appearing on YouTube. So I'm trying to just see. So it's a bit of an experimental session this afternoon. It's not really a show that I would do on a regular basis. But I believe it is going out on YouTube, and hopefully it's on Facebook Live as well, and I've no idea if I can see it, and I can't see it on YouTube at the moment, so I mean on Facebook, and that's because it is on Facebook pages. It's on the Big Rock Show, or Durban Rock Radio. Let's have a quick look, see where it is. It might be here, if I can. So bear with me as we do this, because this is a very experimental session this afternoon. So we're looking at taking you back a few years and playing some songs, talking about a little bit of history on where this whole thing came from. It might be Durban Rock Radio actually. So there might be a live stream going on Durban Rock Radio, which I don't know. Building your audience. Let's have a look, see what that says. No, that's not it. Let's go back to Durban Rock Radio, and let's go down here. I can't see it anyway. Perhaps it's not allowed. I don't know. I'm sure I had it set on. Let's just go here and have a look at this, what it says. Warning, output, progress, quality, if your destination is okay, whatever. So it looks like the ability to stream to Facebook and YouTube at the same time didn't quite happen there. So maybe I'll just do that. Hello? You okay? You're just doing radio? Yes, I'm doing it now. You are? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to do it at 6. No. Oh. You okay? We laugh here on the radio. Oh. You keeping well?
Yeah, I just didn't hear you talking.
Oh, no, that's okay. So, if you just tuned in, a warm welcome to you. Let's just see if this will authenticate me, which it has done. Thank you very much. And if I put it on the page, will it say that? Or maybe I should put it on my profile. That might be better. Yes, please. So this is an experimental session, ladies and gentlemen. So before you, we're testing a brand new studio, brand new setup. Everything's new. So just even the microphone's new. So pop up session. Let's do that. Okay, we'll just say okay to that. And let's see if that'll work. Please stop all other outputs before attempting to change canvas size. Okay, so something's happening. I'm not quite sure what, but let's see what happens if I click this button. What will it tell me? If you create a new destination with a higher quality than the destinations you currently have, the quality of the new destination will be reduced. To avoid this, please stop all broadcasting before creating new sessions. Okay. If you stop all outputs before changing canvas size. I think I've done that already. So, probably not sure what's going on, but it's all experimental, and oh, look at that! Fancy that! That looks quite cool. I didn't see that there. Okay, so welcome everybody on Guitarist TV. Of course, it's just it's just a pop-up session, really. You know, we just kind of like. I'm just going to comment. All right. Guitarist TV, of course, it's just amazing. The audio quality is quite good. It's quite excellent, and so good afternoon. Let's just try this. Good afternoon. That's hey, afternoon, Andrew. Hey, bro. So it's looking good. Welcome to the expression session, for want of a better name. But we are testing new stuff, new equipment, a new studio layout, and a whole lot of host of other new things. How's it, Garth? Garth has just appeared on the thing. How's it, Garth? How's it, Garth? He's at Brew. So I can type here nicely too. And Yapforce is also flying. So, all right. So, what is the purpose of Sunday afternoon jam session? Yeah, I mean, well, normally I would be outside with a guitar and a PA system and making some tunes, playing some music. But of course, today it's not possible because the weather's not that good and it's quite cold outside, and I really don't feel like kind of getting sick. How's it, Andrew? Hey, Mabry. Hey, man. Excellent setting. Thanks, man. This is a whole new setup for us, and so I'm busy testing things. And so we're out on YouTube as well today, and we're testing that. So let me just check that out while we're busy having a chat here. Thanks, man. I'll just thank you, Stuart. Thanks, mate. I can type here nicely, which is really nice. And that's one other thing which is quite impressive, and apparently there is there's a lot more facilities here that I haven't experimented with, like adding titles and making it all really fancy and that. But one of the things I wanted to do this afternoon is talk about music in Durban and music in general. And I was just going through some things the other day, and because of the lockdown thing, everybody, well, I don't know about you guys, but my garage has never looked so sparkly clean. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so I got in there, gave it a good clean, and I did come across some old cassette tapes, really old cassette tapes, and what I've done is basically take those cassette tapes and dump them onto MP3 format. Now the quality is still pretty dismal, but to take you back a good few years, talking about 1978, 79, and back in those days, I think I just finished the army and all that, and national service, and I had an opportunity to work professionally as a musician. I was 20 years old, and this guy came up. His name was Chris Stott, and he said to me, "I like your playing, blah blah blah, all that stuff." And I'm thinking of putting a band together, and we've got a gig lined up at the Wagon Wheels Hotel, and this is amazing, man. And so, Francois, you'll remember this stuff, man. The Wagon Wheels Hotel in Florida Road. It was never really a live music venue, but it became, Chris managed to talk the owner of the hotel into hiring us the room. So we would have the room below, what was it called? It was called the Wagon Wheels, I think. So we went in there as Joanna Buck. And I remember saying to Chris, "What is Joanna Buck?" Buck, of course, guitar. But Joanna is, of course, the piano. And not being a keyboard player back in those days, I was pretty dumb and didn't know anything about anything. And apart from pentatonic scales, and that was about it. So we went in there, all guns blazing, and with this whole new set of songs. And I think we lasted about 6 months before we finally got fired because we just weren't pulling in enough people. And I think Wild Youth came and did a guest spot with us and they killed it, they absolutely killed it. And we thought, oh, this is it. But of course, people never came to see us, they came to see Wild Youth. It was a punk band back in those days and they just demolished the stage and breaking everything that was there, the lights and Anton, our drummer's drum kit got demolished, but it was a good gig. But one good thing that did come out of Joanna Buck was we recorded a couple of tracks, only 2 tracks actually, at Don Clark's studio in Westville. And stole the water jug from me. My mom has used it for his milk. What is that all about, bro? I said, Rod, hey, man, good times. Hey, Stuart Mann is also here. Hello, Stuart. Hey, man. And yes, so there we go. So I'm going to play a song. I managed to sort of salvage this one, and this one is an original track, which is called Breakdown, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, I'm going to play it for you. Here we go. I'm not sure what it's going to sound like on Facebook. No idea, but we'll soon find out. So it's a bit raw. Here we go. I wrote this one particularly, and so Mr. Facebook, we own the copyright. Jennifer, you'll remember this song. On the drums, Mr. Peter Mason. It is indeed, Stuart. Yes, so we had amazing times back in those days. It was quite nice. So these are quite, I don't know, tracks that I think on the keyboards. Who was playing keyboards? It was Chris. Chris actually did the keyboards, and Chris is singing, of course. And on the bass is Graham Curry. On the drums, Peter Mason, lives in Australia now. Blast from the past, man. This was the very first time I'd ever recorded in a recording studio. Ever. How old is that? 21? Amazing. One of these tracks, Mark Drake actually played drums. I'm not sure which one it was. It might have been Surf City. Or it might have been this song actually. I'll see if I can get hold of Chris and find out. You can hear the Gibson Les Paul. It was such a beautiful guitar. Nice bit of Durban rock and roll. It would have been nice to have got a nice record deal from this, wouldn't it? Make it my brew. Chris Stark on the vocals there, and the band, of course, Joanna Buck from way back in the day, 1978, 79, somewhere around there. We just finished a residency, and I was properly unemployed, surfing. But back in those days, because I didn't have a job, and I was surfing in the morning and playing guitar all day afternoon, and then playing in the club at night. it was a very good time to, get your guitar skills, and I had to basically start playing guitar all over again, because I got tuition from a guy called Mark Kahn, who was the guitarist for a band called Hawk, and he was friends with our bass player Graham Curry, and Graham and Mark and Lister Coleman and Mike Drake played in a band called Tangent, and those guys came and did a sort of guest spot. They were fusion guys, fusion master musicians. I'm a hacker compared to those guys. They were just amazing, but they were a massive influence on my playing and really helped me improve my playing, no end. So by the time Joanna Buck was done and dusted, I was able to go out and work professionally with a band called Strut. And Strut were a proper sort of Durban boy rock band, and we played covers and all that, but I'll play some of the Strut music in a second. But this is the second track that I recorded with Joanna Buck in 1979 at the studios in Westville. And this particular track is called Surf City, and it's a song that was written by the band and created by Mr. Chris Stott, and the same musicians recorded on this album, and it was produced at Don Clark's studios in Westville. So here we go. This one's Surf City. How's it, guys? Hope everybody's well. So if you, there we go. I love this song. Motocross fat tackies. I'm gamey. Fantastic. Amazing. It's lifestyle. Hey, there we go. That was so cool, man. That was our style, actually. All we did was surf all day and play music at night. It was brilliant. Back in those days, not a worry in the world, eh? So, call back the past, it is. Durban Music Archives, isn't that amazing? Hey, Mr. Smith, how's it, Cloud? Welcome aboard, my friend. Hope you're well. It's a pity I didn't have any music from the Dropouts. That would have been fun. So what you're listening to? Isn't that amazing? Alright, so you just tuned in. Welcome to Durban Rock Radio. Michael de Jager behind the microphone. And today what we're doing is really digging into a couple archives, music, music that I recorded before I even knew what recording was. It was Don Clark's recording studio in Westville, and that takes you back a few years, 1978, 1979. So what you've just listened to are 2 tracks that was recorded by a band called Joanna Buck from back in the day, and interesting vibes. After Joanna Buck, I kind of moved off and wasn't really sure of what direction musically I was going to go in. I had no idea really. So we got together with a few guys, and we started a band called Strut. And Strut was basically a cover band, and we used to go and play. I think we played originally at the El Castillion. That's where it all started. El Castillion Hotel at the Killarney, was it Killarney? No, Lonsdale. The Lonsdale Hotel, which was back in those days where West Street and Smith Street sort of joined before you got down to the waterfront. It's obviously not called West Street and Smith Street anymore. It's called something else. I haven't got a clue. But back in those days, that part of Durban was like the live music hub of holiday season territory, and when all the volleys used to come down from Johannesburg and the Free State and wherever else, they would go straight to Durban Beachfront, and that's where it all happened. We had Newtons and all these kind of gamey places, amusement arcades and things like that, and and the surf of sunshine. It was amazing. It was really, really an amazing vibe, and in those early days, we still wanted to make a dent in the music industry, and as a band, the band Strut was on bass was a guy called Andy Harper, now lives in Australia, and Mark Payton, a guitar player from Durban, and Danny Neertling is our amazing vocalist from Port Shepstone, and on drummers was Richard Duarte, a Portuguese guy from Mozambique originally, but settled in Durban with his family, and that was the band. We were just 2 guitars, bass and drums, and a front man, and so we really wanted to make a dent, and we really wanted to record some songs, and of course we didn't have any money to do that. So, but we used to, during our breaks, we used to shoot across to Cat's Whiskers and go and watch other bands play. Other bands were amazing. They were really good professional bands from Johannesburg. They had all the gear and everything. And these guys didn't work. We worked during the day and we played part-time at night. And we used to go and watch a band called Bite. And there was Sean Potts on the vocals and Ian Webster on drums. A guy called Dion on guitar, and a guy called Bones, I think, on bass. I can't remember the rest of the guys' names, but we became very friendly with these guys, and Ian said to us, well, we're going down to Margate to play to do a 3-month, what they call it, residency at the Palm Grove in Margate. So, we'll rig up a little studio, and if you guys want to come down one weekend, and, we'll record you guys. So we never said no to that. We said thank you very much, and of course that's what we did. So we got in the car one weekend and we went down to Port Shepstone, and we stayed with Danny's parents' place in Sheppey, and hey man, we went and we recorded a couple tunes, and rummaging around in the garage over lockdown weekend, I managed to find these tunes, these old tapes. And I'm going to play you one of these tracks, or maybe a couple of them. The recording, I must warn you, is not very good because they come off cassette tapes straight into the digital domain. But nevertheless, this is Strut, and this is the very first time we recorded together. And Danny did the vocals in the toilet at the back of the stage, where Bart had a demo studio of some sort, but they were very good, and they were very kind enough to to let us record this song. This one's called Somebody. No, that's not the one. The one I want to, actually, I'm going to play that one anyway. So I think this one may have been recorded in the recording studio in Poynton House, our rehearsal studio. Actually, let's have a listen. Yeah. Oh my God. Gillespie Street, that's it. Yes. So this was recorded in Poynton House, actually, in our rehearsal studio. And Danny, whenever he recorded anything, of course he recorded it through the PA, he always put the levels into the red, so you can hear the distortion on the top end, you know. But that's the way he loved to. He said, "No, you won't hear the distortion." Of course you do. But what a voice he's got, man. He's got such a voice. It's amazing. Amazing. So in the studio in Poynton House, we rented a little office, basically, that's what it was. And we egg boxed it at Uxbury. We just put egg boxes everywhere. And all the bands did that, you know. Jeff, what was Jeff's name? Jeff Monroe. He had a band, and they were just down the passage from us. And they did exactly the same thing. So when you went into band practice, you went into them, all you could smell was some cardboard, you know, from the egg boxes. I can still smell it today. You know, it's amazing. This is about the nicest ending we ever created in our... Oh my days. The bee's knees, eh? Wow, there you go. So, right, that was one of them. We recorded some others. Let's have a listen to this one. Why? Okay, right. Let's have a look. I'll put this one up here. Why Don't You Love Me? Okay, this song I wrote. Now, this is recorded live in a place called Boksburg in South Africa. Alright, so you can hear Danny talking. And I think it was like our last month at this place in Boksburg. But this is a song I wrote, and I think we were feeling pretty down in the dumps, you know. Because it's a shit life. You're really playing in a nightclub 6 nights a week, watching people get pissed and knock the shit out of each other, you know. That's not fun. But I suppose that's it's a living, eh? That's what we did. Boksburg, what a place. Love it, man. Mind you, they looked also after us in Boksburg. People were lovely there, you know. And it was the first time I ever saw snow. It was in Boksburg. We were all from Durban, never seen snow in our lives before, you know. All of a sudden, the snow just one morning, and because we arrived there in January, I think. January, February. It was February, March, April. You played 3-month cycles, right? So you did. Christmas was October, November, December, January, and then you would do February, March, April, May, June, July, and I think after 6 months there, July, August, September, October, came back in October, came back to Durban. Well, this is 1980. But I wrote the song and the band rehearsed it, which was very nice. And I think I'm going to record this song again. This is me singing and Danny's doing the harmony. I forgot about this one. Interesting song. My attempt at Mark Knopfler, a little riff. Back in those days, Knopfler was huge. I think he'd just come on the scene, did a little bit. And I think we did back a few country bands while we were up there playing in Boksburg, which is quite interesting. So Andrew, I remember you were in the army and then had a friend who lived there when it snowed. Yeah, it was bizarre, Andrew, because that part of the world, it never snows. It never ever snowed. But that year, we came out, looked on the veranda of the hotel. It was only a 2-story hotel, opposite the bowling club, and there was another hotel on the other side of the bowling club. It was like competition to us. But they didn't have a band, and I think they got a band at some point, I can't remember. But the snow was like inches thick, and we went and played in the snow, made a snowman. Of course, you're not dressed for it, And we got so sick. Yes. I think we ended up, all of us, the whole band was down with the flu, but you still had to play. We were getting paid $1,000 a month each to play there. And back in those days, that was a lot of money, $1,000 rand a month. So it was costing Henny, who was the guy that owned the place, it was costing him $5,000 a month. And back in 1979, 80, that was a shitload of bucks. Anybody's money, And that's the reason why we left Durban and packed up our jobs and everything. The money was like double what you earn in the jobs we were doing. So it was quite an opportunity to go and play there. But this was one of the songs that was one of ours. We recorded it, and I wrote the song. Cool tune. But the band played it. They did it serious. It sounds much better live, of course, what you're listening to now. So if you just tuned in, a warm welcome to you. Durban Rock Radio, Michael de Jager, reminiscing on my days in the music industry in South Africa, and playing some seriously old tracks, and really dilapidated and badly recorded, but taking you back many years. Hopefully, if you were there, you'll probably remember, snowing in Boksburg and things like that. It was really quite bizarre. Right. Now, I think I have a track here. I think this is the one. It's called Love Is. And Love Is was recorded, I'm not sure. Let's have a listen. I'll tell you as soon as I hear it. I think this one was recorded at Bart's Demo Studio in Margate. The vocals are quite clear. Yes, this is with Danny on vocals, Andy Harper playing bass, Richard Duart playing drums. A nice song, actually, when you think about it. unusual. You know, it's like unusual. It's not your average pop song. Because I'm not sure who was famous back in those days. I think the Police were very big in 1980, 79, 80. This is 80, 81, I think. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just seeing if I can invite some of these musicians who actually worked with me to join us and watch the show. Love is So Easy, original song from the band Strut that we wrote together and recorded together back in those days, and it was a lot of fun, I must say. Right, the next song I'm going to play is one called Somebody Broke My Heart, and I think this one, no, we've already listened to that one, so we'll give that one a bit of a miss. I think we'll just, we don't need to repeat ourselves, do we? So, yes. So if you just joined, well, if you listening to this at some point during, it's a bit of a test show. This, we're just doing bits and pieces from, my days as a musician in Durban, working with a band called Strut. Let me see if I can find that song. There was one other that we recorded. This one here. So you can hear it when it's been recorded in the demo studio, of course, because it's got a very distinct style on the drums. So there we go. Not the most inspiring of recordings, I must admit, and they're all demos that have been, taken off of cassettes, cassettes that I've just sort of found lying around, and decided to come and play a few tunes because I'm busy testing some new software and checking out the new studio. It's looking really fancy. So I hope you enjoy it. Anyway. So, back to the history of the bands and the way things okay, so this was my favorite song, the one that we recorded, this one called Turnaround, and so here we go. Oh no, this is not the one. Where's it going? It's that one there. No, it's broken. Alright, so this one recorded in Margate. I think this is one that I'm definitely going to re-record. Hello. So, if you just joined us, welcome. Testing out some new software here, puppies. If you don't, please excuse the quality. We'll play some, because we're on YouTube, it has to be original. You have to own the copyright to play the music, of which I do, so just fun. So this is a song that I recorded with a band called Strut, who just joined. And on the vocals, a guy called Danny Maitland. On the bass, Mr. Andy Harper, and on the drums, Ricky Duarte, and I did all the guitars. So yes, good stuff. Good fun back in those days. So this is where we are. This is the new set. Quite nice, eh? It's quite cool. I'll tell you what it's called. It's called a city set. It's quite nice. Danny's stressing about the vocals. I don't know how many overdubs he did to that, but he did a lot of work getting those vocals actually spot on. I was using a Gibson Les Paul to record these, and you can hear the Yes, we did a good couple of takes of that track, but we really need to put our hands out to say thank you very much to the late great Ian Webster, who recorded that for us from the band called Bite. It's 1981, I think it was. It was it's quite a way back. As time moved on, we're talking about 1980, sort of 8 now. We jump a couple of years. Strut were together for a long time after that, and when the band finally broke up in about 1982, I think it was, I joined a band called LMB, Louis, Mike, and Beverly. And we became, I stopped playing, if I remember correctly. I stopped playing in 1982, 83, I think, when I got married, and put the guitar under the bed, and I never played again until about 1986, 87. So the guitar sat under my bed while I focused on engineering diplomas and, getting some kind of education, because I didn't have matric, and I basically bummed out of school, failed matric, got a standard 9, I think. And so I needed to do something about my education, and of course went to college at Tech and studied there for 5 years, night school, working during the day and studying at night. I think I got my NT6, whatever it's called, and the mechanical engineering diploma. And then I got a call to join a band called Heathrow, who were playing in Durban at the Blue Waters Hotel, and I did that for a couple of months. It's maybe 6 months or so, and then we had the bomb, the Magoo's bomb, of course, and that put a dent in things. Things weren't good in South Africa in those days. It was quite crappy, to be honest. So I stopped playing again. I left LMB after 9 months at Magoo's, and created my own recording studio in Hillary called Alternative Recording Studios, and I started recording my own songs. And that was quite an interesting experience too, because I'd never recorded, from a home point perspective. Of course, I'd learned a lot over the years, but this is the very first track that I wrote and recorded at my home studio in Hillary in Durban. This is called the Chug Chug Song. Yeah, like I said, the music quality it's not that great actually, because it's come straight out of a cassette tape, but I'm not sure what it sounds like on Facebook, but let's have a listen. Yeah, like I said, the music quality it's not that great actually, because it's come straight out of a cassette tape. Yeah, that sounds okay. So I'm going to play a song in which my friend Graham Curry played with us, recorded with me actually, if you just joined, so that you can. I'll just take you back a few years, man, and you can listen to some cool tunes. With a band called Joanna Buck back in the day. In case you missed it earlier on, I played a couple of tunes, and we had some good times, Mr. Curry and myself, and Graham was a massive influence on my playing, and became very good friends. His musical ability was like right up there, and mine was like down there. But I learned a lot from Graham, and he was an absolute masterful bass player and musician, and really nice guy. So we really put some cool tunes together, and somehow we managed to earn a living playing this band called Joanna Buck at Waiting Wheels with nobody coming to the gig, but somehow we managed to scrape through. I just have no idea how we did that, but we did it. And it was, from a musical point of view, it was a great experience for me. Absolutely. Anyway, this song recorded in my little studio in Hillary in Durban. I used a Yamaha DX7 for the bass and the Yamaha RX5, which I still have actually, for the drums, programmed all the drums. Very cool. So, nice new set. And Guitarist TV music, really, really nice. Very impressed. So we just, the reason for today's pop-up session is basically just to test out this new Fandangle and see how things go here. And, if it sounds any good, if the audio is okay. Of course, when you do things on Facebook, you have to own the copyright, which I do for these songs. So there we go. So we're also talking on the radio, and we're on Guitarist TV on YouTube as well. So that's cool. But doing stuff on Facebook is cool too. Well, there you have it. If you just tuned in, listening to Durban Rock Radio, it's pop-up radio on a Sunday. Original tunes from back in the day. And like I was saying to listeners on Facebook Live, I had really good times with some really great musicians in my life, and I was very lucky to have been friends with a guy called Graham Curry, who was a bass player, and I play his song right now. One that I really enjoyed. Called Surf City, and I'll play it for you right now. This one we recorded at Don Clark's studio in Westville. On the bass guitar, Mr. Graham Curry. On the vocals, Mr. Chris Stott. On the keyboards, Mr. Chris Stott as well.
If you stand down, they find a bike shining river, and if it's raining, there we could sure have our weather. Now can you dig that size? That's how my fashion. Come on, straight front.
I actually enjoyed this one.
And if fiberglass and city surface lifestyle, smile around, can you dig that size?
We had a really good drummer actually, Peter Mason. Fat Tackies. It's brilliant.
Or else we're spaced out, bumped out by the backyard stage, playing bouncing music we made. And in fiberglass and city surface lifestyle, smile around, can you dig that sour style?
He sounded really good, man. I think it sounded really nice. It's really that funky sort of vibe, you know?
And if you jump off any play by any gear side, you may get involved in
Saltwater water molecules. I love the words. Projected, man, project. Come on, project. It's really cool. We had our own sort of our little following, Joanna Buck. It's cool. bass line. That bass line is really cool. I learned that from Mr. Con. Yes. Not quite cracked it there. But you can hear the difference in my playing, how it improved. So there you go, Joanna Buck, 1979 from Durban.
The sexy rock radio station you've always wanted is here.
With your host, Michael de Jager.
Right. This is a second track that I'm going to play you from Joanna Buck. This is one called Breakdown. I'm sure we just played this for you. We did play it earlier on, yes, we did. I'm playing it again. Learning this riff, well actually I worked it out and it came to because I've got this riff, you know what I mean, and somehow we put it together. I don't think if it had been for Okay, so I'm going to call it a day now. Thanks very much for spending some time with me. I hope you've been entertained. I'll play you on the line.
So, whatever be your today, you wave sound, they scream no delay. Stronger forces seem to play against you and me.
Journey on there. Oh, there we go. Good old rock and roll from Durban. Woo-hoo. Love it.
I say, old chap. Fancy a bit of the old rock and roll?
Alright, so after a couple of years break, I came back and built my own studio in Hillary and got a new Fender Strat. Some outboard gear, and I recorded this song, and I call it Funky Orchestra Hit, or just Funky Orchestra, that'll do. Hope you enjoy it. This was basically my first attempt at writing guitar instrumental music. it's so late. Hello. How's young Claire doing today? Are you well? All good? Everything's alright that side of the world. I just got to talk on the radio 1 second. Yeah, so there we go. Some cool tunes. It's time for me to say love you and leave you. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you've had fun. This is one I wrote. It's a cool little song. I call it Itching. I was just itching to get out there and play, man. So these songs that you're listening to now are old songs that I recorded when we lived in Hillary, what was it called? Robert Price Place. I had my own studio there, and I think Byron was about 2 or 3 years old, crawling around in nappies. So I didn't play in a band anymore, but I made a recording studio so I could still play. And I was working at Clavaderi's and just up the road in Queensborough. So yeah, good old days. So what do you think of the new set? This is a new studio set, it's quite cool, isn't it? So this is the last song in the session because I really need to chill out. Just had a couple of hours playing some music and I really enjoyed it. So thanks very much for everybody who tuned in. Big good fun. I love this. Luke can play these songs. This is a drum machine, Luke. It's a drum machine that I programmed, RX5. I think you won't know the machine, but I've still got it here somewhere. So here's a song for you to learn, my bro. There's only one bass player that can play this, and that's Dion Krishna. Or Graham Curry. Yes, Graham would do this. His eyes closed. There's quite a few other bass players I know that can also play like this. Of course, Andy Hopper would be awesome on this as well. Ian Jones. Easy stuff. So there you go. There it is. Couple tunes. How's it, my bro? How are you, Luke? Keeping well, man. Keeping well. I've been watching your YouTube channel, and you're playing like a machine, my bro. Very lekker. But I've got to go now. So thanks a lot for popping in to say hello. Because we're on Facebook, of course, I'm playing all original songs, copyrights that I own. Otherwise, you get into trouble for playing other people's music, which is fair enough, I suppose. Absolutely, I get pissed off if somebody played my songs without my permission to. It's the way of the world, is it not? Yes. So, thanks so much for coming in and saying hello. Look after yourselves. Have a fantastic week. And to everybody out there, adios muchachos. Goodbye. See you another time. See you Friday night. Cheers, bye.